Last night I didn't have a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun in AAC last night. Stars lose 3-0. Fourth time they've been shut out in the playoffs this time. So not great. Not a great game. A lot of things happen. We'll get into it right now on Clean Sheet of Ice, the Texas Hockey Podcast, brought to you by Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang. Zang responsibly during the playoffs. Obviously, we got a Sunday afternoon game on Sunday. 2 o'clock. Hit up some Zing Zang, Bloody Mary mix. Get ready for the game. It's going to be a blast. Zing Zang, Zang responsibly, and shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app. It's not sports betting, so it's a lot easier. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. I'm your host, Tom Strankman, joined always by Dom Garcia. How are we doing this fine early Saturday morning?
I knew something was up when Stars fans that were in AAC last night were saying that it is freezing cold in the building. And that ended up being what was on the ice with our players as well. We didn't play that bad, but just to see that outcome and just that night, that 60 minutes might have had been 3 hours. Like just everything not kind of going our way last night.
Yeah, I think the Avalanche 4-0 loss shutout was the only shutout that they've had where they haven't competed very well. I think they played really well 5-on-5 last night. I thought they played well against the Jets in that 4-0, those two 4-0 losses against the Jets in Winnipeg. Like, had chances, had empty nets. Goalie made some crazy saves. Couldn't hit the net. A lot of blocked shots. That was mentioned in a post-game last night, is that they had a lot of good looks, but Mason Marchment said that they were blocking a lot of their good looks. So, sucks. It was a sucky game, especially for a Friday night in AAC on a Memorial Day weekend. Like, thought we were going to get a really rowdy crowd. I thought the Stars chant was really good. First period went by, and then it just kind of fizzled out after that. So, not ideal. But the storyline from last night is Roope Hintz. Not good. Just not good. Darnell Nurse, who we mentioned in the first 3 or 4 episodes on this podcast in December, I believe. Darnell Nurse got checked in the back of the head by Sam Bennett, I believe, in Florida, in that crazy 6-5 game that they had in the regular season. Great game. But he got cross-checked in the back of the head. And I think Bennett got 1 game suspension, fined, whatever. And all Nurse did after the game was that is the dirtiest hit that's ever happened. You can't be doing that. That's irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. Darnell Nurse, since that happened, has become one of the dirtiest players in the NHL. Several cross-checks to the back of the head, several just bonehead plays. He did it against Vegas, too. It's just you can't complain about a dirty hit and then just become one of the dirtiest players. You can become more physical. You can make bigger hits. You can do all of these things. But for you to call out a dirty player and then just become a dirty player yourself, I think that's stupid and irresponsible, and it just doesn't make any sense. So Roope Hintz and Darnell Nurse are by the net halfway through the third, 5 minutes in the third. I don't remember when it happened, but he looks at Roope. Puck gets out of the zone, by the way. It left the offensive zone and went past the blue line, so Miro Heiskanen goes to catch the puck. He then looks at Roope, looks down at his skate, and then throws a giant slash to his ankle, where Roope Hintz has had foot and ankle problems in his career, where injuries have happened, and maybe he's just got weak ankles, maybe he's got weak feet. I don't know what it is, but he's messed it up once, and now it just keeps happening to him, and it happens every playoffs now. It seems like it's just the worst injury luck, but it hits him apparently just right on the right spot to hurt him. So the intent was there, because it wasn't on his knee pad, it wasn't on his shin pad, it was on his ankle, it was on his boot. And Oilers fans were like, that was just a baby slash. I don't know why he embellished like that. He couldn't put weight on his ankle leaving the ice. The slowest walk to the locker room I've ever seen from a player, maybe, without having to get stretchered off. When he went down, I was like, worst case scenario, obviously. It's just that's really not good. And then when he couldn't put pressure on his ankle, really, really not good. The penalty ends up getting called a minor. They did review it for a major penalty, and Pete DeBoer said post-game, I did butcher my tweet a little bit. I just try to tweet it as fast as I could. And thinking and tweeting and typing at the same time is just it's a problem, typing that fast and trying to remember exactly what he said was a problem. So it was a paraphrase, but it was pretty close. See, Pete DeBoer said, "I'll answer your question with your question," talking about to Leah. And he said, "If that's 97, if that's Connor McDavid, does anyone in the room think that's not a 5-minute major if he's the one getting carried off the ice?" And he's not wrong. He's just not wrong. Because if he's getting carried off the ice and can't put weight on his foot and he's leaving for the game, possibly the series at this point, that is a 5-minute major. And when they came back and said it was a 2-minute minor, unbelievable, because they say it's the intent, not the result. But when you have a penalty that's called high sticking and there's just one drop of blood, that is a result-based penalty, not an intent-based penalty. And I just don't see it both ways there. I don't. And it's tough to complain about the refs when you get shut out and you don't score any goals and you play good 5-on-5. But that penalty, above all of the other calls that happened in the game, really frustrated me and showed that Dallas may just have to beat the refs and the Oilers at the same time in this series.
Yeah. And, embellishing is kind of crazy to me because they had to stop the man advance. They had to stop the game because he was down for so long. And intent, if it's about intent, they were nowhere near the puck. So there's no argument of your intent of anything was clear of any fouling. So like, it was tough to see. The whole building went silent, at least from the broadcast. I don't know what I was like there, but no, it sucks, man, because that finish line starting out the game was literally a part of history. Like it was the best line all game too for Dallas, and to have a huge playmaker like that, possibly it looked like he might not come back, and that is scary.
It's terrifying because, especially for Roope, he's been playing very well. He just hasn't gotten a ton of results. He obviously had that 4-point period against Colorado in that loss in Game 6, I believe, and he's just played really well. And he's one of your fastest skaters. You need him on the ice against this team, and it's tough for the guy. I mean, he's had so many different injuries in the playoffs now. It's just like Nathan McKinnon knocked him out of the playoffs last year before. I can't remember when it was. Like, he's had several injuries in the playoffs, and it just comes at the worst time. And I don't think he's like injury prone necessarily. I think it's just freak accidents and freak plays that happen to lead to him leaving series or leaving the playoffs entirely. So we don't have an update. Obviously, he left AAC in a walking boot yesterday. So we'll see if that's just like a bone bruise or if it's a fracture. I don't know what it's going to be, if it's a fracture or a broken ankle. Like, I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know if you can play. I know several players have played on like broken femurs and stuff before. So it's very possible that he comes back. It's just he's not going to be 100% the rest of the playoffs, regardless of what it is. So just a really unfortunate thing to happen. And Darnell Nurse just being a complete hypocrite and complaining about dirty plays and then becoming an incredibly dirty player over the rest of the season is just really frustrating to me. And then also the refs not calling that a 5-minute major when I know it's not intent-based or result-based, it's intent. But when you have a penalty that's literally based on results, I don't know how you call it both ways. But it's frustrating. The game was frustrating in itself because Skinner, obviously, we got to him last game in the third period, scored 5 unanswered goals and hoopla, craziness in AAC. It's like, and then he just stands on his head. He really did. I don't think the Stars had a number of crazy chances in the first 2 periods. I think they had a good number, but Edmonton was definitely capitalizing on their chances where the Stars weren't. Third period, I thought the end of the second period, third period, I thought the Stars played really well. I thought they had a lot of good chances, and the puck just didn't bounce their way last night. I mean, Otter's 2 of those goals on Otter, like, he can't, all 3 really, he can't do anything, and they're all tipped goals. So it's like, I don't even know how to describe last night's game. I'm not completely defeated. It's just I'm frustrated by the results of last night.
No, I mean, you take all the goals in these first 2 games. I think none of these goals Otter would be like, man, I got to have that one back. They were just kind of,
Perfect bounces.
perfect bounces. And if I said, Otter, there's 2 goals you could have back, you'd probably pick the first 2 in game 1, if I'm being honest. And
yeah, Draisaitl and Bouchard. I think those are the 2.
yeah, and my take from this game, watching it last night, was, damn, like Edmonton's blue line and Edmonton's defensive mindset last night just made it impossible to get the puck with space. And when you do that, good things happen for your team. And any scoring chance you have, it feels really grim because you don't know when you're going to get the next one. Dallas also played a pretty fairly sound defensive game. I thought, honestly, 5-on-5, I thought we played better defensively game 2. They had way more breakaways. McDavid was doing McDavid things in game 1 that I didn't see that much of in game 2. I thought it was an improvement, but when Edmonton got their chances, they punched them in. And I just thought, as frustrated as it was to watch this as a Dallas fan, I just thought Edmonton just won this game. I mean, they did everything right, and Dallas turnovers didn't help. I think it was Wyshynski that tweeted it out. There were more turnovers for Dallas in this game than their entire playoff run this year prior.
Yeah, I think they had the more turnovers in the first 2 periods than they had in any game in this playoffs. Just in the first 2 periods.
And we said this before we started recording, like, it's not that they resulted in big results for Edmonton. It was just that all those turnovers are going to take away offensive opportunities for Dallas.
Yeah,
and
I think
Edmonton might get a good chance, you might not, but
Edmonton was just wildly crispy last night. Every pass was just right on the tape. There weren't any like bad bounces off the stick or anything like that. They were controlling the puck when they had it. I think Dallas was creating really good zone pressure and doing a lot of the really good things that you see at Dallas hockey. And I think it was reminiscent of the first few games against Colorado, where for some reason, it was just a little bit off. Like there's a little bit of pause. There wasn't like immediate action. Like, oh, I'm going to pass the puck here. It's like, wait a second, wait 2 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to pass the puck. And then it's too late at that point. A little bit of a timidness maybe. And then the passing wasn't as crispy as it was for Edmonton last night. Edmonton played a hell of a game. I'm not going to discount what happened in that game. They played a hell of a game. They capitalized on their chances. They took advantage. And I mean, McDavid hit the crossbar shorthanded in the first period. That was terrifying. So that was his like one really good chance. I think the rest of the time they played really well against McDavid and Draisaitl. Obviously, their depth is really good this year, which we've mentioned multiple times. I know Oilers fans think we're discounting Edmonton's depth. We're not. We're just saying I think Dallas is better. Now it's a little bit more even because you lose Roope Hintz and you got to bring in either Maverick Bourque or Oscar Beck. We'll see who it ends up being if Roope is out for game 3. See if he travels with the team. I don't know what's going to happen there. We haven't gotten any results at 7:30 in the morning after a game. So I don't know anything about Roope. But Edmonton's depth did show up. I think McDavid was the only superstar to have a point last night. Him and Bouchard, maybe, if you count Bouchard. But yeah, it sucks. It's really all it boils down to. That game, that first period, I thought they played really well. They were matching shots with Edmonton. They were creating chances with Edmonton and just couldn't convert on the power play. The power play that the Oilers got their goal on to open the first period, though, worst call of the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah.
And everyone was in agreement on that last night. Ryan Whitney, Empty Netters, Biz Nasty, like even Sportsnet, ESPN, like everyone was on the same page there. They're like, that's just not a penalty. That's on the skater, not the defender. It just was. I mean, Granny got a boarding call for a play that happens to him 3-4 times a game in the playoffs and in the regular season. Like, does that all the time. And he never gets the call. For him to get a boarding call on something where the player is facing Granny, and as Granny starts to throw the check, turns to his shoulder, he's not on his back yet when he gets hit. He's on his shoulder, and they call boarding. Everyone in the building agreed. Everyone starts booing the refs. I was like, good. We're in the crowd. The crowd's already ready to go. Bad call. And then they score 15 seconds into the power play. So it's a killer, but it's so early in the game that you can come back from it, and they just didn't.
Yeah, Mark Messier was very adamant. Like, boys, if if that's a call, then we're about to be seeing penalties every 2 minutes, because this is the Stanley Cup. This is a Western Conference final, and regardless of the outcome of the power play, like, that's so ticky tacky. And yeah, no, I had a feeling that if that was going to be called, I was like, man, this probably will snowball into something like a weird bounce on a puck, and it ended up being, I think, Roope blocked it, and it opened it up for somebody else to.
It was like
To get,
triple tipped.
yeah,
Based on what I saw from the press box. I never watched the replay because I didn't want to, but it looked like it was triple tipped. Like it was blocked, went to another guy, tip into the net.
Yeah, no. And then I don't remember if it was the first or second period, but then Skinner mishandles the puck and it gets to Robo. And like you said earlier, the timidness and the reluctancy to make a decision, it could have been a goal.
The one right in front of the crease.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robo had a great chance there. He just went right in the chest.
And after that penalty, it felt like in the first game, it was just, if we could keep the game in front of us, we'll be okay. We'll be good, and we'll eventually get our chances. What was weird about this game is we kind of did that. Like, we did keep the game in front of us. We did really well in the forecheck. The neutral zone was weird for both teams last night, but the forecheck and eliminating chances for Edmonton, it's just, I saw a lot of flat-footedness when you weren't involved in the play for Dallas. Robo, Tyler Seguin, just, I'm not saying you're going to get a chance, but you at least lose the opportunity when you're so flat-footed, because Edmonton's already running if they get the puck. So you got to be on your toes. And it's small things like that that could potentially lose a scoring chance for your team.
Yeah, it was just a weird game all around. Like the early penalty calls, like Corey Perry was baffled that he got a roughing call after the whistle on Colin Blackwell, where Colin Blackwell is just standing there and 3 different Oilers hit him. One of them cross-checks him in the chest, and then Corey Perry grabs his face on his helmet and his visor and pulls him down to the ice. And he's like, it's not roughing. I'm like, he was already going down and you just grab his face. Yeah, that's roughing, dude. Like, even if it's the playoffs, that's just roughing, because he's not doing anything. He's not trying to get at the goaltender. He's not poking a stick at Skinner or anything. Like, he was just standing there, like Jamie Benn always does. When the puck gets frozen, Jamie Benn will not move. He will be the last person to move out of that crease, including the goaltender. He will be the last person to move. Colin Blackwell wasn't even near the crease. He's a few feet away from it and already got fucked up by 3 dudes, and then Corey Perry just comes in and grabs his face. So, weird game. I thought Graney played really well. I thought Mikko had a better game in game 2 than he did in game 1. Thought Roope was flying all over the place whenever he was on the ice. And I thought Matt Duchene was really good last night. Just the half-second pause from Matt Duchene was the one thing I noticed. And thought Robo had some good chances. Wyatt Johnson looked a lot better in game 2. It's like, I thought everybody kind of looked really good last night, and you just couldn't score on Skinner. So the Skinner stat I saw the other day is that in wins, he has a 100% save percentage. He literally wins on shutouts. And then every other game, he doesn't have a save percentage higher than 833 this playoffs. So you're either losing the game because Skinner allowed 4 or 5 goals, or you're winning the game on a shutout with Skinner. Kind of take your chances there if the save percentage is going to be that bad. And we knew the Oilers were going to bounce back themselves. We thought McDavid and Draisaitl were going to have a crazy game. I thought the whole depth was going to have a good game. And I was like, even if you can just get the first one on Skinner in the first period, then he starts to think just a little bit longer for the next 50 minutes or the next 45 minutes, however long it is. Just get that first goal on him, and then gets a little bit more shaky, just like Hellebuck did on the road. Like, if you can get 1 on him, you're going to get 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Like, you can score on that guy if you just got to get that first one. And Skinner played incredible. Like, he saved a couple of crazy ones and had some fumbled pucks in front of the net. Like, you had your chances. They just weren't getting those rebound chances that they've been getting previously, where you can get the second shot. It was mainly just kind of right in the chest, and he was able to save them, or right in the gloves. So he played great. I'm not going to discredit that, but frustrating.
No, when Esa Lindell misses basically an empty net,
yeah,
and Skinner kind of lucks into a save like that, like, it was just that kind of night. And Skinner did play good, but I mean, yeah, frustrating.
That's all it really is. I mean, you head to Edmonton 1-1 against this team that went to the Stanley Cup final, that battled back from 3-0 against the Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champions last year, and that beat you in 6 games last year. Like, this team was never going to go out easy. If you were able to get 2 wins at home immediately to start the series, I was going to be wildly impressed and actually surprised. I did think we were going to lose game 1 based on the results heading into the third period. I thought, all right, well, we'll just win game 2. It'll be fine. Go 1-1. Go to Edmonton, split there, and then you just kind of see what happens after that. But yeah, it's a frustrating game, but the results are what they are. It's 1-1. You're heading to Edmonton. You got an afternoon game on Sunday. Like, you're playing every other day. It's 1:00 game in Edmonton. It's 2:00 here in Texas. Like, and then you play another one, 7:00 on Tuesday, and then you're back home for game 5. So, like, the way that they played today, I think they can win games like that. They played really good 5-on-5. The problem is they got to stay out of the box, and they know they have to stay out of the box. And it's so tough against this team, man. It's just with McDavid and Draisaitl flying all over the place. Like, Harley just tackled Draisaitl at one point. He's like, "You're not going anywhere. I will take this penalty in order for you to just not do anything on this shift." So it's hard to defend them. It's really hard to defend them. I know everyone has trouble with it. So it is what it is. But you're going home 1-1, or going to Edmonton 1-1, and I think if you told Stars fans that it was going to be 1-1 heading to Edmonton, you'd be like, all right, we're fine.
Yeah, no, and I'm confident in Peter DeBoer is going to say the right things. I mean, we always hear Matt Duchene talk about, I think it was his Chicklets interview where we learned he has a sports therapist. And I think that's really, really helped him in that he can have these stretches of like not so good play, but as long as you're still doing the right things, it doesn't affect him. And I think that's the mindset that this team has. I do think they will bring way better offensive pressure than they did. It still wasn't even that bad, but I think they're going to get some high danger shots on Skinner. I think there are going to be some rebounds in game 3 that we could potentially capitalize on. And Peter DeBoer is going to do his thing with line changes. So we're going to see what happens. Jim Nill did also get nominated for the, was it third year in a row? GM of the year.
He's the most nominated GM of all time. I think he has 5 nominations.
And I was seeing all the reports like pregame when reporters were talking to the players. And I think at least 3 or 4 of them said, like, this is the most talented team I've ever been a part of. Like, the way Mikael Granlund is playing, I really want to see him back in Dallas next season. I don't know if it'll happen, but he, like, just this system, man, everybody just kind of gels together. And I think this locker room has enough veteran leadership to where this shutout's not going to affect them. They're going to come out play it.
They've won every game on after a shutout.
Yeah.
In this playoffs. They've had 3 previously. They won 5-2, 5-2, and 2-1 in game 6 against Winnipeg. So Pete DeBoer said it multiple times. They're the best bounce back team he's ever been a part of, where if they have a bad loss, they're going to come back and win the next game. Obviously, we had the 7-game skid and 8-game skid really into the playoffs. But they knew that didn't matter. They knew it just did not matter. That all they had to do was just come back, win the next game. They'll be fine in the playoffs. And that's what they do. Thomas Harley did say about Jim Nill in his morning skate podium interview. So he was at the podium and someone asked him about Jim Nill, and he goes, yeah, there's a reason he's won 2 in a row and he's likely going to win his 3rd. So he just came out and said he's going to win this year. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get that the Florida GM has a really good shot just getting Seth Jones and Brad Marchand, but like, that's not Mikko Rantanen. So just that one deal alone should win it for him. But then adding Granny and CeCe, who've been instrumental into this Stars run as well. Like, CeCe's been playing a lot of PK. He's been really good on defense. And then Granny, obviously, he's had a hat trick. He's had a couple goals and tons of assists. He's playing on the finish line. Now, not the finish line, depending on what Roope's injury is like. But, yeah, just all those moves. Jim Nill should win 3rd GM of the year. I don't know how many you have to win to be the most decorated GM of all time before you win a championship, but he's getting closer. I don't know. This team's really good.
Getting that Wyatt Johnston contract done alone
same
at
day.
least would have put him in the nomination. But then getting those trades done, that's his trophy.
Yeah, if you do Granny CC and extend Wyatt at the deadline, like, and get an extra defender instead of Mikko Rantanen, he probably is nominated. And then he's like, all right, I'll get Granny CC, I'll get Wyatt Johnston's contract done, and I'm going to trade for Mikko Rantanen and give him a contract extension all on the same day. And the same day the Wyatt Johnston and Mikko Rantanen trade happened. It's just crazy. It's good to have Jim Nill. Saw him in the elevator last night and said hi. I'm always intimidated when I see that mustache. He looks derpy on TV and everything, but when you see him in person, you're like, man, that's a dude. That's a dude right there. I don't know what it is. He's the big guy in the room. I love him. I love him dearly.
Yeah, I wish every GM had a little Jim Nill in him.
Yeah, the mustache is just incredible. He's always had it too. That's the best part. Is he's been wearing it for 50 years at this point. He's just had a stash. Like, it's incredible. All right. So what are your keys to game 3 in Edmonton, afternoon game? Let's get the Zing Zang keys to the game for game 3, and then we'll be out of here.
So, dude, I've never looked at Dallas as a bad face-off team, but apparently this playoff run, we are an elite face-off team. We are winning very important face-offs. Everybody, Tyler Seguin has been kicking ass in the at the puck drop. I'm looking to see that, because when we're in our offensive zone and winning face-offs, especially on the power play, we're dangerous. It was really hard to get entries in game 2, good ones. So winning face-offs will be important, but just controlling the puck from player to player, passing the torch is my biggest key for this next game, because we said at the beginning, like, you hurt yourself. You take away potential offensive opportunities when you're turning the puck over so much. So handling the puck is my biggest key. And Edmonton did well enough in game 2 to where it's a perfect example. You take care of the puck, good things are going to happen.
I agree. Yeah, they're a weird face-off team, because earlier, I guess in the Colorado series, when they would lose the face-off battle, they would win the game. When they would win the face-off battle, they would lose the game. Kind of a little bit of the same in Winnipeg. And then Edmonton, I don't remember what the game 1 stats were, but last night they dominated the face-off circle. Like, they were just winning. I think they won 67% or roughly something around there. I didn't look at the stats. Don't care. But they didn't come close to out hitting Edmonton or getting close to hitting with Edmonton. I think they were out hit by 25 shots or 25 hits. And that was tough. You're keeping up with them shots wise, which I think is very important, because when Colorado was out shooting you by 15 shots, you're like, I'm terrified of every shot. So when you're competing with them on shots, I think that's a really good sign that things are good or going to happen. But I think my keys are continue the 5-on-5 play. Get a 5-on-5 goal. Get a 5-on-5 goal and stay out of the box. Those are my 2 things. Like, if you stay out of the box, you keep Draisaitl and Connor McDavid off the ice together for the most part of the game. And then if you can get a 5-on-5 goal, then it kind of instills confidence. And the rest of the guys are like, okay, they got one. We can go get one now. Like, just getting one 5-on-5 goal, if it's Mikko Rantanen or Granlund or Wyatt Johnston or whoever it is, like, one of the big guys got to go get a 5-on-5 goal, even if it's Miro or Harley with those lines out there. Like, a big guy's got to go get a 5-on-5 goal and be like, all right, boys, now we go. We got 5-on-5. Stay out of the box. We're going to win this game. I think those are 2 huge things. And then obviously hitting. You got to come a little bit closer. You're not going to ever out-hit anyone in this playoffs anymore. I don't think. It's just not the team that Dallas is. And if you can come close to hitting with them within 5 to 10 hits, I think you've got a really good shot of being physical enough and letting them know, like, hey, we're not messing around. That's what happened with Winnipeg. Winnipeg, very physical team. Colorado, very physical team. When they were within 5 to 10 hits of them, they usually won the game. Last night, they were over 20 hits away from Edmonton. So hit with them, get a 5-on-5 goal, and stay out of the box. So those are my 3 keys by Zing Zang. Zang responsibly. America's #1 Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah, I'm co-signing all of those. I mean, my last kind of thing I want to see for game 3, I want to see Wyatt Johnston just be super aggressive. I want to see him really go for it this game. Even if he succeeds and gets a goal, even if he doesn't, he can put a pressure on Skinner that will wear him down. And I saw a lot of really good screens in game 2 for Dallas. I think that's something they can build on as well. Mikael Granlund just threads needles like nobody else can when we have really good screens. And I want to see that kept up. But Wyatt Johnston just continue to be that gigantic force downhill, making the defense fold. I think good things will happen. And he hasn't had the results he's wanted, but his play has still been very much a positive for the team.
Yeah, I thought Wyatt was really good in game 2. I mean, he had that shorthanded chance breakaway. Just couldn't. He lifted the puck just a little bit too much over the net. He had another one later in the game where it's kind of open in the slot. He had a number of high danger chances just by himself. I think one less deke, two less dekes on his shots. Like, he got to simplify it a little bit. He was doing that against Colorado, and then obviously he gets the game winner in game 7 where he just doesn't pause on anything. He just decidedly he's going to shoot the puck. Once he gets it handled, he's going to shoot the puck. No dekes, no nothing. And when he does that, he's very, very dangerous. And the one extra deke is either having him lose the puck or the goalie is able to get into position, whatever it is. Wyatt's going to score one very soon. It's going to happen. Yep. He was buzzing last night. So, yeah, I agree with that. And then we got to get Mikko going again. If Mikko starts going again, scary hours. Because then you're just matching whatever McDavid and Draisaitl, if not surpassing what they did, because last night they only had one combined point. So progress from game 1 on that front, but you just got to score goals. So, yeah, game 3 in Edmonton. It's a 2:00 game here in Texas Central Standard Time, and we'll be recording right after. We'll have that episode up as soon as we can on Sunday night. So we'll be back. Let's go win a game. Get one back in Edmonton after a shutout. It's kind of what happens, you know. You lose in a shutout, you win the next game. It is what it is. That's what the Stars hockey is, baby. Just get shut out and win the next game.
And if you let us win this one, I can see us putting together where everything starts. The stars literally start to align, where, you know, Robo finally gets going and Mikko finally gets going. So this game 3 is going to be huge.
It is. And no update on Roope Hintz. Whenever we get one, we'll let you know on this podcast. But Game 2 stinker, but we're going to be back for game 3 in Edmonton, afternoon game. It's all ESPN. That was our first ESPN loss, by the way, of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Thought we might sweep just based on the ESPN numbers, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. This team's going to be tough to beat. I know I picked them in 6. You picked them in 5, the Stars, but it's going to be a tough series. It's going to be hard. I mean, they won the Western Conference for a reason last year. Stars have to prove that they got a superstar that can take over a game now. So we'll get it. It'll be fine. Game 3, Sunday afternoon. We'll be back very, very soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, the Texas Hockey Podcast. Shout out to Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. We love Zing Zang. Zang responsibly, especially on Memorial Day weekend. Go start your day with a little Zing Zang, America's #1 Bloody Mary mix. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you hit more or less on every stat, every game, every night of your player. We love Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Dom, thank you for joining me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already on Apollo HOU on YouTube or wherever you get Clean Sheet of Ice on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Hit that subscribe or follow button. Love you guys. We'll be back very, very soon with another episode of Clean Sheet of Ice, Texas Hockey Podcast.